Victoria Labalme, and I want to talk today about the importance of practicing. No one wants to practice, but you know it's really important. It's a bit like being a violinist. You can't just read your music on the plane to Carnegie Hall. You got to get out the violin and practice. And so often when I work with executives or individuals or entrepreneurs or sales teams, they'll say, well, I went over my notes in the car, you know, when I got to the parking lot, I just got it in my head, or I went over my notes on the plane or backstage, but that's not the same as getting up on your feet and trying it out, because the written word is different from the spoken word. And this is a challenge when people get handed scripts. Unless you're a fantastic actor, and actors train for years to be able to make a written piece sound organic, you're going to be in trouble because the page and the stage are different. So I always say, go from typing to talking, back to typing to talking. You have to get up and try it out. And this is what Mozart did, right? You think back there, he is at his piano, he's writing out the notes, then he plays them to hear how they sound. Then he works on the notes some more, and then he plays them. It's what the playwrights do. They go from writing to doing a reading with actors, back to writing, and then on to reading. So you have to try it out. You have to hear what it sounds like, feel what it sounds like. It's VVV, verbal, visual, visceral. Okay? So now I'm going to give you 10 tips. Are you ready? I have my notes because I don't want to miss a thing. Number 1, make it manageable. Don't plan to rehearse for the whole afternoon. You won't do it. But if you give yourself a little section to do, you're more likely to cover that. Number 2, use a clock. It's very helpful. Here's my start time, here's my end time. You want to micro-rehearse with that clock and with making it manageable. So you pick one little section and you say, I'm just going to work for these 15 minutes on this introduction and this story. That's it. And then I'll come back to it. You want to bookend. This is a great technique. Bookend is when you have someone hold you accountable. So you call them at 1 and you say, I'm going to start. And then if an email comes in or you think about something you want to do, you just hold off, because you know at 1:15 that person's going to call you again and say, did you do it? All right, find a mini audience. Even if the audience is a friend, a couple people from your office, I don't recommend a spouse because they often look at you critically. And what you want to say to your audience is, listen, I just need to run this. Would you be warm bodies in the room? Look at me with a pleasing face on. Don't look at me with this question of doubt. Just let me run it with people in the room. Using a mirror can be helpful. That's the 5th tip here, but it's a little dicey because sometimes people get so locked in, and as they say in ballet, who you are on stage is not you in front of a mirror. We become so narcissistic looking at ourselves. But you really want to be present. You want to know what the feeling is like to be present. That said, the mirror can be helpful just to say, oh, my shirt's a little tight. Oh, my hair's out of place. So you want to use a mirror to check, but not to be in love with yourself. 6, videotape yourself. Very useful. Not my favorite thing to do, to look at myself on tape, but you learn a lot. It's like the mirror, but more consistent. So you just want to watch, and it's great to watch on mute. Turn off the volume and just see what your gestures are like. See how many times you repeatedly do one thing. You'll start to notice a lot. Number 7, audio tape yourself. Also fantastic. You notice when you've said a word 3 times. You notice that you're going too fast. You notice that your voice sounds like this. So you want to make sure that you're listening, you're changing, you've got the type of feeling you want through your voice. And a great time to listen to the audio recording is when you're in your car, you put it on the seat beside you, or when you're doing laundry and you're folding your clothes, or when you're at the gym and you're on that Precor machine, the elliptical, because it's nice to have a physical activity, driving, folding laundry, being on the machine, to hear what you're saying. It's just too painful otherwise. It gives you at least something else to do. Number 8, wear the clothes that you're going to wear on stage. This is critical, because if you try it out in your sweats and then you get on stage and you're in high heels and you're sweating in this particular blouse or this particular business suit, you realize, oh boy, I wish I'd planned for that. So rehearse in the clothes. Like a dress rehearsal means you're going to dress in the same thing. Try that out. Number 9, practice the performance at performance level. One of these great teachers I had, he was actually a drumming teacher, said the best rehearsal for performance is performance. Meaning, try it out as if you're really there. If you do it halfway all the time, when you get on stage, you're probably only going to do it halfway. Now, you don't want to run it at full tilt every time, but at some point, you've got to try it up, full dress, full energy, so that you know what it's like, and if you can, sustain it. And last, number 10, critical, is imagine yourself in the space. How can you see yourself in that space? Because when you get there, it will be less surprising to say, oh, wait a second, I've been here before. As opposed to, oh, I wasn't visualizing this, I just saw my dog in the corner and my TV because I was rehearsing in my living room. You want to say, all right, I can see it, I can feel the room, which is also why you want to get to the space early. You either want to check it out months in advance or the morning of, so you know what you're in for. But even if you can't get there right away, just imagine, okay, there are going to be 100 people, they're set up at rounds, how do I want to be? I'm going to see myself there, I know there's a high stage, and then it's less of a surprise. So, quick review of your 10 tips. Number 1, make it manageable. Number 2, use a clock. Number 3, bookend, get someone to hold you accountable. Number 4, find a mini audience, people to test it out in front of. 5, use a mirror, carefully, sparingly. 6, videotape yourself. 7, audio tape yourself. 8, wear clothes that you're going to wear. Wear the same attire so you can feel what it's like. Number 9, practice at performance level. And number 10, imagine yourself in the space. I'm Victoria Labalme, and if you want more of these tips, check out our website, our private online resource library. We have 65 videos, tons, well, probably more now because I'm adding, and tons of PDFs and articles and forums where you can get all kinds of information. Thanks so much. Share, tweet, Facebook, and all that jazz. I'll see you soon.